Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor for me and also a great pleasure to welcome you all in the Polish-Czech Forum Conference 2023. My name is Aleksy Borówka and I am the Deputy President of the Institute of New Europe, and I'm here today to conduct the conference. I would like to welcome all participants, especially representatives of the Embassy of Czech Republic in Poland, invited representatives, as well as invited representatives of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Poland. In the beginning, I would like to shortly introduce our institution. We are launching the conference, and we, as the Institute of Europe, are a private foundation. So we work as the Polish independent think tank, and what we do? We provide analysis, conduct research, and deliver experts' insights within the field of international relations, security, geopolitics, economy, and also new technologies. And our mission is to lay a substantive foundation and to encourage discussion on the future of the Europe. So, in the changing world order and global technological race, we aim to strengthen and to improve the national and EU institutions and influence the shape of foreign policy. So, a significant part of our work are publications, and you can reach them in the open access by visiting our website. So, a part of the mission is also to raise public awareness of the processes relating to the previously presented fields. The Institute pursues its vision by creating new solutions for public policy, establishing platforms for scientists, researchers, journalists, and commentators to exchange ideas, and also by increasing public access to expert knowledge. We also run a consulting company providing advisory services for many entities. So, today's conference is a part of a big project named Intensifying Polish-Czech Cooperation on the Foreign Policy Priorities of Both Countries in 2023. So, the project aims to create a substantive basis for intensifying Polish-Czech cooperation in the field of foreign policy priorities of both countries, and this published task is financed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Poland within the grant competition Polish-Czech Forum 2023. Now, I would like to also describe the whole project in which today's conference plays an important role. So the project consists of 5 elements. And the first element is a series of podcasts created with an active participation of Czech and Polish experts. And here I would like to thank all respondents for provided interviews, especially Mr. Kaler-Sal, who is with us here, and Ms. Szarka Szub, Mr. Jan Machacek, and all those 3 respondents from Czech think tank, the Institute of Politics and Society, and also Maciej Ruczaj, the director of Polish Institute in Prague, and Wit Dostal, managing director of the AMO, the Association for International Affairs from Czech. So interviews were conducted in English but are available both in Polish and in English. The second element is a written report, and it is written by a team of Polish and Czech researchers and experts, and the authors of the report are Ms. Szarka Szub, PhD, MBA, Executive Director of the Institute of Politics and Society, Mr. Kaler-Sal, PhD, and external analyst of the Institute, Ms. Katarzyna Obonkowska, PhD, an expert of the Institute of the New Europe, Mr. Artur Bartoszewicz, PhD, the chairman of the program board, and Mr. Marcin Bartoszewicz, a young expert, and also myself as the Vice President of the Institute of New Europe, and its Director of the Security Program. Also, I would like to thank all authors for providing all chapters concerning impact of the Russo-Ukrainian war on the foreign policy of the Czech Republic, the Czech engagement in the Visegrad Group and the Three Seas Initiative, good practices for development of military industry on the example of Czech firearms production, the energy crisis in Central and Eastern Europe in the scope of challenges of the energy transmission, and also the migration issue and humanitarian crisis occurring in Europe, as well as current conditions for the development of Czech-Polish economic cooperation. So the report is available in both English and Polish and will be sent at first to all participants present here on the conference. So if you weren't invited by the email, please, if you want, just leave your email on the list and we will provide you the report much more earlier than to the wider audience. So the fourth element is dedicated website on which you will find all of results of the conference, including a recording of the conference. And we are also available via streaming in our social media, and I would like to here welcome the online audience. Sorry you are not here with us, but maybe in the next conference we will see each other. And the fifth element is an information campaign which we are running and to reach with all results of the project to the wider group of stakeholders of our project. Let me present the plan of the conference. So, we are starting with the introduction, which is happening right now. And, I'm sorry. Sorry for the technical intermission. So after the first quarter of our conference, we will head up to the first panel. And first panel will last about 1.5 hours, but we will see how many questions we will have from the audience. And the conference consists of two such panels, divided by the 45 minutes of the coffee break intermission and networking. So after the second panel, we will deliver a short summary for the conference. We will invite you to the additional 1 hour break for the lunch and for the further networking. So the topic of the first panel are bilateral relations between Poland and Czech Republic, and also the issue of priorities of foreign policy of both countries. And let me shortly just introduce the speakers, and I will go on to the speakers of the second panel. So in the first panel, the speakers are Mr. Artur Bartoszewicz, PhD assistant professor in Szkoła Główna Handlowa and expert in the field of economy. And Mr. Jan Lupomecki, an expert from the Warsaw Institute, and Mr. Wit Dostal, so the head of the AMO Association. And in the second panel, we will discuss the issue of the regional cooperation between Poland and Czech Republic, especially in terms of Visegrad Group and Three Seas Initiative. So the speakers of the second panel are Ms. Katarzyna Błąkowska, PhD, Mr. Artur Bartoszewicz, Mr. Karol Szal, PhD, and also Mr. Marcin Kacparek from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Poland. So, before I will announce the official opening of the conference, I would like to ask you all to rise and observe a minute of silence in memory of all victims of the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict phase. We hope that both sides of the conflict will soon find a way to, as soon as possible, end the war and find some peaceful resolution of the conflict. Thank you very much. So, hereby I would like to solemnly open the conference Polish-Czech Forum 2023, and we will proceed to the first panel. So, for now I would like to invite all speakers to take their seats. So please, Mr. Artur Bartoszewicz, Mr. Jan Lupomeski, Mr. Wittostel, please take the seats. And right after you will take the seats, I will introduce you with short bio. Okay, so after a short technical break, I'm ready to open the first panel, and I would like to shortly introduce speakers. So, from my left, so your right, is Mr. Artur Bartoszewicz, PhD, Chairman of the Program Board of the Institute of New Europe, also a Doctor of Economic Science at the Warsaw School of Economics, and expert in the field of the public policy, including state and economic strategies. Also an expert at the National Center of Research and Development and the Digital Poland Project Center. Next speaker is Mr. Wittostel, PhD, the Executive Director of AMO. So he focuses on Czech foreign and European policy, Central European cooperation, and Polish foreign and domestic policy. Mr. Wittostel completed a doctoral program on European Studies at Masaryk University in Brno in 2017, with a dissertation on the paradiplomacy in Czech regions as actors in international relations. And also, I would like to introduce Mr. Jan Rafael Lupomeski. Mr. Lupomeski has worked as an advisor to the President of the Czech Republic and the Minister of Defense and several members of the Czech Parliament, as well as the Chief Legislative Analyst for the Union of Small and Medium Enterprises. Since 2016, he has been living permanently in Poland, but he was born in Prague. So, living in Poland, he analyzed the political risk in Central Europe for foreign investors. He also comments on Polish politics for CNN Prima News and Czech television, speaks at conferences, as you can see, on Central Europe and the Three Seas Initiative, and is City District Councillor of the Wrocław nad Odrze. Privately, he is also the founder and the president of the first Polish croquet club, the Wrocław Croquet Club. So please welcome our speakers. And we will proceed for the short structure of the panel for you to know how we will make our speeches. So at first, after the introduction, I will give each speaker about 3-4 minutes for their introductory speech, so they can speak on every topic concerning the issue of the panel. And then, after those speeches, I will ask 3-4 questions to each of the speaker. And after those answers, we will make a 1-minute summary for every speaker and also one for me. And then when we'll finish the moderated part, we will invite you all to take questions and ask our speakers about any idea coming to your mind concerning the issue. So, I will start and I will sit not to interrupt the panel. We need just a moment of the technical break, so sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, thank you. I think we can start, so I will proceed to the first panel. So the first panel is the priorities of foreign policy of both countries, Polish-Czech bilateral relations. So, well, the very first question which is coming to mind right now is, how did the Russian aggression on Ukraine affect the foreign policies of both Poland and Czech Republic? And I would like to start from Mr. Artur Bartoszewicz. Artur, please take the mic.
Good morning. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm proud to be here. Nice to meet you, everyone. It's difficult to answer for such kind of question because this is a wild subject when we are talking about the foreign policy, and especially when we are talking about the relations between different countries, two countries. We are neighbors, but our goals, our aims are not so close how it should be. After the Russian aggression on the Ukraine, I think that every country changed their own aims, goals, and approach for especially the place in the European Union. The rule which Poland had from the first days of the aggression was special. We are very open for people who migrate from the Ukrainian Union, from the Ukraine, and we tried to help them. We were focused on the new the new rule in this subject, and I think that after this case, every kind of problems between our countries, between the Poland and Czech Republic, were not so important as they were before. We had to try to find ourselves in different moment in our history, and I know that the same in Czech Republic. They tried to help for the people from Ukraine, and I think that we should start the new part of our relations to prepare our economies for the new stage, for the new problems we can expect. In the same, when we see what is happening in Israel and Palestine, our neighbors and our thinking about what we should do and what we should do together should be changed. And I think that we will discuss about it, that what we should do together when we are the members of the European Union, the second when we are neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the speech. And right now I would like to ask the same question to Mr. Wittostal.
Yes, thank you very much for the invitation. It's always great to be in Warsaw, and I'm very glad I can speak about my favorite topic, which the Czech-Polish relations are. What is the state of the Czech-Polish relations right now? In my view, we are in a very good time, actually. We've got very close relations between the two countries. We should be happy about that. We have the same or close to same view on the most important geopolitical issue of today, which is good. We cannot claim that we have such a situation with all Central European countries. But we have to see the current good shape of the Czech-Polish relations in some perspective. If we would look back, let's say 3-4 years ago, then we have to state that right now we are in a very special time, because 3 years ago, 2 years ago, the relations, 2 years ago actually, the relations were in a very bad shape. Because of the mine in Turów and this dispute, which completely ruined the Czech-Polish relations on the governmental level. It was not possible to communicate well between the two countries and the two governments. My question is whether we have taken some lecture from that. Yes, it was possible to close through the political negotiations the Turów case. We've got the agreement that lasts, and as long as there is this government in the Czech Republic and the Polish government fulfills its duties that it promised, the deal will last. And then what came and what made the relations also very special was the outbreak of the war. The Czech Republic and Poland were from the very first minute, even before the outbreak of the war, in a very good cooperation, communication, not only on the governmental level, but also the army, the services. It worked. We would have not been able to send the weapons to Ukraine from the very first day if there was not good cooperation and help from Poland. And it was the key issue for the war, the very first days, and the reaction of the Czech Republic, of the countries like the Czech Republic, Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, Slovakia at that time as well. So basically we are, what I would like to say on the introduction, we are in a good time period. We should cherish the good shape of the Czech-Polish relations, but we should not forget about the past and the complicated time period we experienced only 2 years ago.
Thank you very much for the answer. And right now I would like to ask the same question to Jan Lupomeski.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me. And at the very beginning, I'm very sorry now I will be a little bit boring because I will be repeating what Dr. Dostal said and agreeing with it. Maybe I will put some additional context to it. I would say the last 30 years, with the exception of the last 3 years, there has been no magnificent Czech-Polish relations. After the revolution, we've been living as a countries rather next to each other than we would live together. There were no significant tops, there were no significant deeps of this. Everything changed in 2021 with the Turów case, when we set the new deep of the Czech-Polish relations, and then In the same year, we had elections in the Czech Republic in October 2021, and new government came, the current government of the Prime Minister Petr Fiala. And then everything changed, I can say. 21 days after the government of Petr Fiala won the confidence of the Chamber of Deputies, 21 days after that, the Turów case has been settled. 21 days after the government won the confidence. Another 21 days after that, the Russian aggression started in Ukraine. And 19 days after that, Czech Prime Minister Petr Fiala was going with Polish Prime Minister and with the Slovenian Prime Minister to Kiev. I'm calling it express train from Turów to Kiev, and it was really an express train of our relations. When I came to Poland in 2016, I'm the generation who still loves Metallica, and they have a song, So Close No Matter How Far. And when I came to Poland, I had a feeling we are so far no matter how close. And there were really no interactions. We were both looking to the West countries, and looking for our opportunities in the West partners, and we were not looking to our region. With the Russian aggression on Ukraine, I would say everything changed. Everything changed. For the first time, Poland and Czech Republic took full responsibility for what is going on in our region. For the first time, we were not waiting for dirigents from the Western countries, but I would say we were playing the first violin in our region, with the massive support to the Ukrainians from both Polish government, Czech government, Polish people, and Czech people. Our relations changed totally as well. We as Czechs, we didn't see in Poland the eternal adventurer of European politics, but we saw a class forerunner. The same I realized here in Poland. We as Czechs, we were not more indifferent Švejks, but we were a country who showed that we have values and we are prepared to fight for them. So in my opinion, everything changed. And that opened these windows of opportunity for the Czech-Polish relations. And as both my first speakers said, we are now in the time when we have window opportunity. Maybe it will not repeat soon, but we now need to build institution not only on the governmental level but on the civic level. That's why I'm so thankful to the Institute of New Europe, because the civil engagement in our cooperation is as important as the governmental one. One last remark to that. We have now in Czech Republic a government which is very good oriented to the which understands the Polish mind, which understands the Polish history, and it's really a big opportunity. Our Prime Minister Petr Fiala was helping to translate Polish thinkers in the 80s and to publish them in the 90s. One of the leading people of the ODS party, Alexander Vondra, the deputy of European Parliament, was incorporated, I can say, in the then Czechoslovakian Polish Solidarity movement. Our now Minister of Defense, Jana Černochová, said recently her parents are Poles and she is Polish. It was a very big statement after President Zelensky said what he said in New York towards Poland. She came and said, "I'm Polish," and I would like to quote her because it was a very, very strong statement in a time when nobody expected it, and when you know this saying, friend in need is friend indeed. I think the Polish president was saying it in this way. I think in both languages, in Czech and in Polish, we understand it what he meant, and that's what the defense minister Jana Černochová said. She said, Polish people are proud, self-confident, fighting and brave people who will not let anyone yell at them and order them around. This is a postulate proven by history. Today, the Ukrainian president's statement against Poland really failed. I'm sorry. It's not her only statement. When, for example, this Sovietics strike failed on Poland, she was the first one ready to defend Poland. She was more ready to defend Poland than the Polish government and than the Polish army. She was prepared to support our Polish friends, the Polish government, of course, and to defend Poland. So we have now this window of opportunity, and I'm glad that we are building the institutions which are needed to overlast every government we will have in the future in the Czech Republic or Poland.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jan Pomecki, and thank for all answers of the first question. So, to shortly sum up, we can agree that the Russian aggression on the Ukraine was actually game changer, not only in the region, but I guess in the whole Europe and maybe in vast parts of the world. And of course, the change of importance of some factors happened. So our challenges in politics, for example, the Turów case, was resolved immediately, and also, of course, after the change of the government. And right now, both governments, I guess, are in very good relations. So our Polish-Czech relations are very good, and we need to exploit this window opportunity for building institutions. And especially, we need to build institutions connecting Poland and Czech Republic in a very non-governmental way, because this is the most stable platform of cooperation, which, as Mr. Jan Pomecki said, will outlast next governments, whatever they are. And of course, here we can say that the most important geopolitical issues and the whole geostrategy of countries in the region are right now very similar, because we all can indicate the really danger happening in the Europe. So this is a power politics of Russian Federation. And right now I would like to go to the second question. We've spoke about the Turów case, but now it is closed. But at least temporarily is closed. But yeah, we need to be careful in politics, and we need to be aware of possible challenges for strengthening the bilateral relations. So what are the challenges for strengthening the bilateral relations between Poland and Czech right now? What kind of challenges can you indicate right now, that are happening right now, existing right now, or maybe will most probably happen in the future? And I would like to start from Mr. Wittdostel.
Yes, challenges. Challenges for the Czech-Polish relations. Yeah, so let's start from the bilateral level. The challenge number one we've got is the poor state of the physical infrastructure, of the cross-border physical infrastructure. That's a debt mainly on the Czech side, since the Poland is able to build motorways close to the border or to the border, and there is a lack of infrastructure mainly on the Czech side. But this is one of the challenges for bilateral relations. Still, as we have seen last summer, Czechs are able to find a way north to the sea and are able to travel to Poland and figure out that Poland is actually a very nice country, and that all the stereotypes we've got and we had about Poland, that it is poor, gray, nothing nice here, poor food, poor quality of food products, etc. That it is not actually true, and it is completely opposite, which is a good sign actually. You know, we always are happy from the fact that Poles are in love with the Czechs or with the Czech culture, which is nice, but again, be aware of the fact that Poles are in love with some nice stereotypes about Czechs. So that's also important to remind always the Polish audience about. I wish we have more bilateral interpersonal contacts, and we are on the way towards that. The last summer was really a miracle. I'm still I always ask, you know, what happened. Perhaps we might figure out some hypotheses. I have some ideas. Okay, so number one is the physical infrastructure. Number two, European politics. We are actually the debate on the future of the EU and how to fix enlargement procedure together with the reform of the EU. The debate has started, and the Central and Eastern Europe has to be part of that. That's a challenge for the Czech Republic and Poland as well. We are not showing so many ideas. I'm a bit shocked, because there is no good idea coming from the government, and the government is now calculating what possible enlargement would mean for the Czech Republic, and actually the status of candidate was granted to Ukraine and Moldova already more than 1 year ago. But this is a homework we have to do. The same is the case in Poland. Please, perhaps rather after the elections, and the Czech Republic and both countries, the Czech Republic and Poland, they have to be part of this debate. We have to cooperate on the new shape of the next European Commission. The next European Commission will be very important. It's not the Commission only for the next 5 years, because the next European Commission will also propose the next multi-annual financial framework. So it will form the shape of the EU until 2035. And there is a huge room for cooperation. Poland could play a role of the leader, but what concerns the Czech side is how it enters the conflicts in relations with Germany and Ukraine, which are not about this very important issue, but about particular bilateral topics which are not important for the Czech Republic. The way how to spoil our bilateral relations again is to, for example, ask the Czech Republic for support in the Polish-German dispute on the historical issues. That is not attractive for the Czech Republic at all. So let's speak about the future. I doubt that with the current shape and attitude towards the debate on the future of the EU, it is possible to find a common way. But recently, I listened to your former Minister for European Affairs, who is actually not in the government anymore, at one debate that took place in Berlin. And there were very good points from the Polish side, and I believe that this could be a basic for some Czech-Polish cooperation on the topic of the future of the EU, the enlargement, and this strange conundrum that we have to deal with in next months.
Thank you very much for the answer. And right now we will continue with our Polish-Czech or Czech-Polish.
Thank you.
Yes.
I have a really hard job here speaking after Dr. Dostal, always, but yeah, the first challenge is infrastructure. Infrastructure and infrastructure. Actually, some Poles are asking me, while we are always saying Czech Republic, why don't we say Czechia, or why are we highlighting the Republic in the name of our countries and not like Slovakians who are in Slovakia and so on. And I'm always explaining to them that in Czech Republic consists of Bohemia, Moravia and Silesia. And if we are speaking about Czechs, we are speaking about the Bohemian part, because in Polish it's Čechy, which in Czech means Bohemia, the western part. And so far, all our main infrastructure is designed on the Moravia, Silesia, Polish ASL, let's say this. The only highway connection is between Ostrava and Katowice. All the trains, I came yesterday from Prague by train again through Ostrava and through Katowice. And as a Wrocław city district councillor, I'm really sorry that going from Wrocław to the capital of Prague, I have to change 3 times the train. And that when I'm going by car from Wrocław to Prague, I'm going through Görlitz, because that's the most quick way. So infrastructure between the Bohemian part of Czech Republic, which is the capital surrounding area. Of course, the Moravian and Silesian part is important as well, but there are all these infrastructure. There is the civic engagement, there is the public cooperation, there is all this infrastructure. But the infrastructure between Bohemia and Poland, and as again Wrocław city district councillor, my dream is that Wrocław will be the gate to the Bohemia to Poland. As Dr. Dostal said, we have the challenges on all 3 levels, actually, on the governmental level, on the public level, and on the civil society level. On the governmental level, it's the infrastructure, and I mentioned, but as well, we need to see the potential of our Central European region as we establish it in the last 2 years, because there will be temptation to look and to knock on the doors on the German Chancellor again and again. It will come, but we have to bear in mind that we as together as a Central Europe, we have a big potential in cooperation, and we cannot forget about that when the good times will pass. In the public engagement, in the public relations, I think we need to improve our cooperation on the universities level, on the academic level. There are no significant programs for engaging the Czech students to go to study to Poland. There are some Polish people studying in the Czech Republic, but there are not so many Polish people speaking Czech and not so many Czech people speaking Polish so far. Actually, I'm now selfishly glad because then I'm invited as an expert to such a conferences, so I'm gaining on this. But we need to deep this public engagement in the matter of universities cooperation. In the civil society cooperation, we need to build institutions in Prague which are there already, but more. Because now the most important one, the chief is sitting here, but there are no many others who are bringing the topic of the Czech-Polish relations to the Czech saloons and to the Czech coffees, so far. So we would need to work on this.
Thank you very much for the answer. And right now, Mr. Artur Bartoszewicz will answer the question.
Thank you very much. It was very interesting what you said about the challenges and opportunities for bilateral relations between Poland and Czech Republic. I believe in window of opportunity, and I believe that this is a good time for starting the new time of our relations, especially we should start from the stopping of the economic war between the Poland and Czech Republic, because we said about Turu, but it's only one case. A case is we could show much more. For example, about meat, about the eggs, any of kind of foods. What all is problem between us. We should understand that our economies should work together and prepare the stronger position in the European Union. We shouldn't look for enemies between us. We should understand that we had enemies normally outside of our countries, and our economies should fight together on the European market. But you said that the infrastructure is very important. I think that it's important, but it is some kind of homework we should do in our countries. We have a lot of money from the European Union, and we have some national budgets, and we should invest and decide together what kind of project we should finance. Maybe some kind of bilateral fund or bilateral banks should be prepared and start, and we should invest in such a way. But for me, the most important thing, and because of the war, because of the Russian aggression, we are still waiting for the new diplomacy between the Poland and the Czech Republic, especially the new kind of diplomacy in Europe, Central Eastern Europe. I believe that it would be better for us to become and start with the diplomacy academy, because we know that we have no such kind of institution. We have no the place when we should study, to understand each other, to prepare our administration for diplomacy. I think that it should be the common project for Poland, for Czech Republic, for Romania, Bulgaria, for Slovakia, Slovenia. We could find the participants of such kind of project, and start with to prepare ourselves, our region, for everything what will happen in the future, because we expect a lot of changes. And the second what we should do, it's to be closer in the military agenda. We should prepare such kind of solutions to work together, to prepare ourselves, to protect our countries. We see what is on the Polish-Belarusian borders, and we could expect the same in future for in our region. This is the the two subjects, those which I think that they are very, very important. We normally speak about the culture, we speak about the education, we speak about the everything what the normal people could do, but on the national level, on the level of our countries, on the level of our governments, we should start with such kind of project which could change everything and could protect our countries. Later, and in the same time, we can invest in such kind of relations between people from Poland, people from Czech Republic. But what we expect during the next 5-10 years, it's a really danger for us. We do not protect ourselves because of any kind of projects in education of cultural area. We have to prepare for the new dangers, more danger times than we know today, and we should forget about everything what was in the past. We should understand that future is not so friendly for us. It's a stupid word, but we don't know what we could expect and who is what will be after, for example, the migration process we see in Europe, Brussels they do not understand what is going on, in my opinion, and such kind of invasion we have now, it is danger for us. We should prepare some kind of proposition for European Union together, because we are still waiting for some solutions from German, French, from Paris, Berlin, from Brussels. We are very. We should prepare some proposition for new policies for Europe. This is why when we started with our institute, we called it New Europe. We should work together under the big project of New Europe. It is very good for us, and I think that is the best opportunity for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And right now I will try to sum up this part of our panel. So we have a lot of challenges in between Poland and Czech Republic, especially on the cross-border physical infrastructure. And there is a need to enhance our communication capabilities in the terms of infrastructure. And of course, I think that in the future especially, some European political issues, such as the reform of the European Union, will be the challenge to sustain such good relations we have right now. And we need to understand that some topics which are important for us in Poland, they will not be important in the public debate in Czech Republic, because this debate is totally different than in Poland. So, to sum up it shortly, we should say, like Jan Pomecki said, so there are three challenges: infrastructure, infrastructure, and infrastructure. So that what we need to put an emphasis on and work, to do our homework, as Mr. Artur Bartoszewicz said. Well, it is a strange situation where between the biggest city nearby the Prague, the capital city of Czech Republic, we've got no railway direct connection. And as I've checked almost yesterday, there were some plans to run a direct railway connection, but I guess there will be a change in between cooperation of both Polish and Czech entities which are dealing with the railway system. So I guess there can be a problem. And I can also confirm, so first time I was in Prague, it was by plane, because there was no plane back from Albania. So I visited one of the most beautiful cities in the world, I guess, the Prague. And when I am coming back home, I was really enjoying the picturesque landscape of both Moravia, of Bohemia also, and also of the Silesian part, Czech Silesian part, because through all those lands I had to go by train to go to Poland. So we need to find out the way to connect better, especially the Bohemian part of Czechia, with Lower Silesia voivodeship. And of course we need to create an academic level of cooperation and also a base for civic cooperation, because this is the time of very good relations. Maybe we will try to stop the economic war, because in some fields we can see that those relations, economical relations, are not so good as political are, and that's kind of strange in this part of the world. But of course we need to also take into the consideration some differences in the culture. So right now we were speaking about challenges and opportunities, of course. So right now there is a part of strengths and weaknesses of Polish-Czech relations. So what we can rely on, and then what we should be afraid of in our relations. So on which fundament we can build right now, and what kind of obstacles we need to overcome to build even better relations. And right now, to fix the problem, Mr. Jan Pomecki said, I will give you the floor as the first. So.
So thank you very much for this. So the strong sides of our relations is that we have the same, more or less the same historical experience of the 20th century. We know what it really means to live under dictatorships. We know what free of word really means. And we have the same historical experience. We have the very same mentality, I would say. In some fields, in some it's different. And for example, in economical cooperation, which was mentioned here, the citizens of Czech Republic and of Poland has very similar customer habits, let's say it this way. So for the economical cooperation, for Polish people, most of the time it is not so attractive to go to Czech Republic from a 38 million market to a 10 million market, but it's a good move, and I'm empowering all the Polish businessmen to do it, because they will get a very similar customer profile as they are used to in Poland, and with additional 5 million of Slovaks, they have quite a nice market. What can we be afraid of? As always, of ambitions. Ambitions are always good, but they can be the biggest struggle as well. As an example, we can talk about Visegrad Group. Although I know it's a topic for the next session, but I would just like to use it as an example where ambitions can struggle the cooperations. Every time in the history, when all 4 countries had the same goal, we achieved something. And based on this achievement, every country was thinking, now I can use Visegrad 4 as a tool to force my own interest. And then always the cooperation totally failed, and years took to rebuild the cooperation again. So that's why Visegrad Group was most strong in cultural matters. But in the real politics matters, there were really few achievements. the biggest one at the beginning. So we joined NATO together, but Slovakia. We joined European Union. So that was achieved. But then always when we had the same interest, all 4 countries, we could achieve something. And then someone was taking it to use it as a tool for their own interest, and then it failed. And we didn't learn from it because it happened many times. As I mentioned in the first section, war in Ukraine changed everything. It will change the Visegrad format as well, because here are some higher values that are not to accept for us, at least in the Czech Republic and in Poland, and we hope and pray in Slovakia as well. But we, as a Czech Republic, I think we didn't fear the Russia as much as Polish did. We had still this buffer zone, Slovakia and Ukraine, which were holding us from Russia. Now everything was destroyed, and we feel that we need to build the region in a very new way.
Thank you very much. And now I guess the Dostal will.
Yes, so my part of repeating what Jan said. The strengths and the weaknesses. I think it's quite similar to the opportunities and challenges, and we already covered a part of it. The strength is improving knowledge. Slowly improving knowledge of the Poland in the Czech Republic and the Czech Republic in Poland. It's slow, and we can always argue that it is too slow. But on the other hand, it's something special. If you look into if you put it into the perspective, if you look and try to evaluate the state of the relations between the Czech Republic and Germany, or the Czech Republic and Austria. We cannot say that we've got a really improving quality of relations on the governmental level, on non-governmental, on the business level, on the level of the people-to-people contacts. That makes, in my view, the Czech-Polish relations unique. It was said we started from completely nothing, or nearly nothing. There were some contexts that were very important. The Czechoslovak-Polish solidarity was mentioned here, and it was extremely difficult time and very important foundation of our good Czech, Polish, and good Central European relations in 1990s. Without the Czechoslovak-Polish solidarity, we would have not been able to get into NATO, because the Czech-Polish lobby in DC was so strong at that time, thanks to these contacts that were established already in 1980s, when Vondra and his friends, they smuggled Polish literature through the border, green border. So that's that is something that's the good foundation, and we are improving it. So it is, in my view, a strength. And weaknesses were also mentioned. The physical infrastructure. It was mentioned the idea. Well, let's establish some new institutions. It might be a good idea, but I would rather say that we already have institutions we can use. We are all cooperate together in the European realm. So there is an opportunity to go and study in Poland through Erasmus, which are not used that much, unfortunately. There are opportunities to cooperate together on large European science projects like Horizon, where we can show that we are able to do the same tasks with very good quality, and that we should ask for the same money as our partners from Southern and Western Europe. So that there is our playing field is the EU, and we have to use the opportunities we've got here. Yes, we can argue that, and I should mention it here, that there are various institutions for bilateral cooperation. There is the Polish-Czech Forum. But if you compare the budget of the Czech-Polish and Polish-Czech Forum to the budget of the Polish-Hungarian cooperation, then you see a huge difference, which is not fair in my view. So that should be the recommendation, that the budget for the Czech-Polish Forum has to be increased. So there are some weaknesses, but overall, I think that we are on a good direction.
Thank you very much for the answer. And right now, Mr. Artur Bartoszewicz.
I thought about such kind of question. What is the most important weakness before us, and what would happen? I think that we should believe in ourselves, because if both Poles and Czechs, we do not believe that we can do more and be the real part of European Union, not only as a client waiting for the money from the European budget, but the main part of European Union, decision makers. We should change our mind and to believe that we can change everything in United Europe together. We have dreams. We believe that it could be that European Union could be better, the best place in the world, but we see what it happened now, especially because of immigration process. But I'm sure that we can change everything because we should prepare together some reforms. We should treat each other in different way. We were talking about the such kind of imagination about ourselves, about our countries, what we think and what is funny for us, but it's not funny. It's danger when we treat our neighbor as a place for fun, for not the strong partner for the future. And I think that if we change the way how we see each other, to understand that when we think together in the same way and work with in common projects, it will change everything, and we will be ready for the new Europe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And to deliver a short summary for this question, so we can indicate that we've got some similar historical experience, both countries, and even similar mental loadout, which is even more important, I guess. And as Mr. Lupomeski said, when all 4 countries of the V4 group were trying to achieve the same goals, there were some impressive achievements in the regional cooperation. So we can work even better, and for now the best part here, so the strength is the cultural field of cooperation within the Visegrad group, but I guess the weakness is the political part. So, and of course we have some other weaknesses, like Mr. Wittdostal underlined, so the physical infrastructure, but also not the lack of institutions, which could improve our relations and improve our cooperation, but the lack of proper use, to proper exploitation of those institutions for developing further relations. So, as Mr. Wittdostal said, we can use the Polish-Czech Forum to increase the number of issues we can together cooperate on. And I think very important is what Mr. Artur Bartoszewicz said. We should believe in ourselves, because right now, in the previous questions, we heard that some stereotypes of both Poles and Czechs were overcome, and we know that our previous vision of the second country was not proper. So right now we should believe in ourselves in order to change together as many issues which can be our weakness in the future as we only can, to not to make a European Union policy a point of weakness, because we really do not want to make this happen. So the last question of this part, of the moderated part of our debate, will be, let's say, the kind of summary, but still ways and fields of future cooperation of both countries. So if you would like to indicate forms and directions of the further cooperation. So I guess right now we need to divide our two Czech panelists. So Mr. Artur Bartoszewicz will be the second, not to repeat so much on ourselves. So maybe I will give the floor to Mr. Wittdostal.
So forms of the Czech-Polish cooperation. Here I think that we already have quite something. If we go from the top level, we've got Czech-Polish, regular Czech-Polish meetings of the governments that take place once a year, which is a very useful instrument, because the whole administration has to prepare what are the topics we've got together with the Czech Republic, and there is a chance to find new issues. What I heard, and what in my perspective is very good case, is the cooperation between the Czech Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport with the Polish partners on the issue of not letting the Russian and Belarusian sportswomen to the international competitions, which is a good case. You know, we have the same view on that, and we should lobby together in the international arena for such a case. But so bilateral G2G meetings is good thing. But we also need a good working relationship. When we were in the dispute regarding Turów, there was no G2G, which was a pity. And actually, on the governmental meetings, the Turów case was repeated from the Czech side always since 2013, 2014. So it was not a new thing, and the Polish government was aware of that, or was at least warned that it might escalate. Governmental meetings. Very good instrument that we've got are the meetings of the deputy ministers of defense and foreign affairs. It is an old instrument that was there in the time of the negotiations with NATO, before we entered NATO, the meeting of the ministers or ministries of defense and foreign affairs. It's something we've got. We had again from 2010, 2011, and now we've got it again. Last year, this year, even on the governmental level of the ministers, again, a very good instrument because the security is our common concern. With its strength, Poland will be the security guarantor of the Central European area, or Central Eastern European area, and we should cooperate, and we cooperate closely in the field of military, in the security policy. Yes, cross-border cooperation is important. I would leave this for Jan. So cross-border cooperation is always important. Cooperation among NGOs. But yes, we've got already several shapes, forms of cooperation that we can exploit.
Thank you very much. And as it's visible and audible, we can even in our conference resolve some Polish-Czech issues with the repetition. So I guess now Mr. Artur Bartoszewicz will
what we could do together, especially as I said, some kind of common project. This is Diplomacy Academy. We should start from this project and using such kind of meetings of governments. Our governments is a very good solution. I think that we should prepare our economies for the changes on the food market, because we know that after the Russian aggression on Ukraine, we have a lot of problems with these products, food products, and we know that production in Ukraine is such kind of dumping production. We should protect our markets, and we should prepare some common policy to protect each other and to prepare for such kind of offer from outside. What we should do more, I think that we should work together in committees, in meetings, in European Union structures. If we be together in such kind of meetings and to try to understand what is going on in European policies, it would be easier for us to prepare ourselves and our economies and our societies. It's the different way how to understand European Union, how to work inside the European Union institutions together. I think that it could be a good solution. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now Mr. Rafał Pomyski.
Yeah, I totally agree with both of you. So I was looking what I can add to that. One point: the Russian aggression on Ukraine changed everything. It's very bad what's going on there, but there are some small benefits as well. The Russians created a Ukrainian nation as a European nation for from now on forever. With the support of Czech Republic and of Poland, I would say, I dare to say, they created Central Europe again. We are not anymore Central Eastern Europe, we are Central Europe, and we should be aware of it. When the new German chancellor came to Wrocław, to the biggest consulate of Germany in the world, he said, I am glad I'm here because I have already experience from an Eastern country. I've been already in Prague. That cannot happen anymore. We are Central Europe now, and all our partners in the Western Europe have to see it, and we need to build on it and create the real Central Europe again. Make Central Europe great again, please. And one of the problems mentioned here, I know there are some programs very good programs of the Polish government with diplomacy academy, trying to work with Czechs and with other countries as well. What is one of the biggest problem is the underrepresentation of the Central Europeans in the European institutions. And that's where we need to cooperate. And when we are lobbying for a Czech in EU institutions, we need to have support of Poland and the other way. We need to cooperate in this because Central Europeans are one of the most underrepresented nations in the EU institutions by far. And we need to change it. The same in other fields. We are, I will say, underrepresented, not saying discriminated, in many other fields as Central Europeans. I'm not from academic sphere, so I can tell what I really think. What happened to Legia Warsaw in Alkmaar, it's the same last year happened to Slavia Prague in Glasgow. It's not possible. We are nice nations. We already passed the European final exams, and we are equal nations with a big potential to grow. We should be aware of it, and we should force it as Central Europeans. Last point, as a ways where the application can be as Doctor mentioned, is the economical cooperation. The business will not let them tell what they should do, but the government can show them ways and possibilities and opportunities. I've mentioned, for example, as an example, in Germany, they have one app for parking where you can pay in every cities, and they supported this company to develop this application in Austria and in north of Italy as well. And it's a German private company which is taking care of the whole region, and that connects the people. You have one parking application. You are coming to another city and you don't need to look, how can I pay here? Do they take cash, cards, or what app? You have the same app. You are in the same region. That's what really connects people. And that's not what I'm telling to my clients, but here government can really help to make the business infrastructure as well. So yeah. So it's calling for Central Europe here.
Thank you very much for all those answers. So to sum up the last question, in the moderated part, we can underline that Poland should be the security guarantor or the security leader in the region, with an important level of cooperation between Poland and Czech Republic. And of course, we should be prepared for some economic threats, but for example, we should put some changes on the food market to connect our markets better, and we should work together in the committees and in meetings more often to understand each other, because sometimes when I am speaking with entrepreneurs, I can see that they do not understand the character and the nationality of Czechs. They just don't get it. So I think the information about the cultural background is very important for them to understand what to do. And maybe, I guess, it will be much more easier for you to understand how to enter the Polish markets, because we've got a lot of Czech goods in Poland. And of course, there is a problem of underrepresentation of Central Europeans in the EU institutions, and this is the part we should together work on. in the cooperations to reach the real equal treatment for us in Europe, because sometimes, especially also in the EU institutions, our voices are quite silent, I guess, or just underrepresented. And maybe that what was emphasized, but I will repeat it once again, so now it's my turn of repeating. The government should indicate the ways of connecting regions, not to make the homework to those countries, but just to indicate and put a strong impetus for some important changes. And I guess this is all we can sum up in this question. So thank you very much for the moderated part. And right now I would like to give the voice to the audience, and I'm happy for you to ask questions to every of our speaker. I will provide the mic. We've got the question. Karel Schall, please.
I have a question about Polish defense budget, because in Czech Republic we can read those titles. Poland is buying tons of thousands tanks, tons of thousands fighter jets, and I would like ask what's going about it in Poland, and what is the military budget strategy for next, I don't know, 10 years? Is this true that Poland is spending a lot of money of military equipment? That it is the truth?
Well, we'll see.
Yes, it's true. We spend a lot of money. We try to prepare ourselves, our country for the situation which will be in the future. We expect that the war in Ukraine is on the first step. What will happen for us and will happen in Europe? I think that the next 10, 20 years we will be the biggest army, the stronger army in this part of Europe. I hope that stronger than German, but we will see. We buy a lot of weapons. We buy a lot of tanks. We invest in this. Our army grow up. We will be. I think that it will be real army to be ready to protect for protection of our region. But in my opinion, we should invest more in our factories, in our production, our own production, not only buy outside in Korea or different United States in different countries. We should prepare and rebuild our sector of the military production. And this is opportunity for Czech Republic and for Poland to produce weapon, for example, together. You know that European Union prepares such kind of new policy and a new program for buying weapons. And I heard that some production will be on the Ukrainian, in Ukraine. I do not believe in such kind of solution. I believe and I think that we should invest together and prepare such kind of proposition for European Union. Your experience from Czech Republic are huge. We had some experience in Poland, but we stopped this sector and we now rebuild this sector and we start again. But as I said, next 10 years, I believe that it will be the most important part of our economy and the part of GDP of we spend as a budget. The national budget is growing up year by year.
Okay. Now, Mr. Jan Pomerski.
I'm representing here the Czech side, so I will not comment on it. It's really impressive. 500 HIMARS makes impression not only in the Czech Republic, but I think in the whole world. I just wanted here quote the former Czech Prime Minister Mirek Topolánek. I think who cares about Czech-Polish relations knows our Prime Minister Topolánek, so you will understand that what he's saying is to show something, and it should be funny as well a little bit. But when the informations about the weaponizing of Polish was in Czech Republic, I was on one conference in Prague, and Mirek Topolánek said that he's very happy that that the Polish are making such a strong army, because in 20 years they will defend us in front of the German Islamic army. So.
So to sum up those answers and to add maybe something more, so in the previous year we spent like 2.4% of our GDP, and this year it is 3.9. So the share is the biggest in the NATO. Of course, we cannot say that, well, we are the best because the 2% of the GDP of United States is devastating in terms of building a big army, but for now we are building in the process around 900 K2 tanks on the license from the South Korea, and the part of tanks will be built by Koreans here in Poland, and then we will start our own production on the license, so we can develop our production lines nearby the Poznań, and I guess it will be beneficial for us, because as we can see in the Russo-Ukrainian war, the mechanized power is really important in regaining the territory. And the second thing I would like to speak about is the cooperation, because I guess it is time to cooperate between our military industries, and here Czech Republic, in my personal opinion, has one of the best military industries in the world because of the quality. Maybe not in numbers, maybe not in quantitative way of thinking, but in quality is really good, and especially firearms. Well, your firearms are one of the best in the world, and for sure. And for example, what I should mention, there is a chance for us to build bigger production lines inside Czechia, because, for example, in some parts of Moravia, the Russian rockets from Kaliningrad Oblast, so from Obwodu Królewieckiego, will not hit those factories, and this is a common threat for us. We want to invest in our military industry, but we need to be aware of the fact with who we will most probably be fighting. For sure, we don't want it, but the clear threat here is Russian Federation. So I guess we should discuss, even on the government level also, but also between entrepreneurships, how to build such joint ventures. So thank you for the question, and we've got the second question.
Yeah, can you hear me? My name is Taras Prodanyuk, think tank at Astra, then a researcher at the University of Oxford, and currently a research fellow at the Visegrad International Fund. So the question consists of two blocks. One of them, you have mentioned that Poland should be a leader in the security in the region. So you have also mentioned the concept of New Europe. My question is that, should Ukraine be a member of this coalition of New Europe? Second question is, why Ukraine shouldn't be or should be also a leader of the security in the region, if we're considering also the budgets for the military issue and other stuff. And the second block of this question is the main threat for the region. Since we do share like post-Soviet heritage, most of our countries do, of the Eastern Europe, is a democratic backsliding is also a threat for our countries and for prosperous cooperation and development of our countries, because we have mentioned that Russia is the main problem and the main reason. But what about the democratic backsliding? What about the rule of law that found in common actually now in Poland, if we will follow the European Commission regulations, and we found in common in Ukraine during the war because of the martial law and other stuff. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And do you want to direct the selected questions to each of panelists, or however? Okay, thank you very much. So it's up to you. Who would like to answer for start? Okay.
Yes, I actually don't like these concepts of the new Europe and old Europe. I would rather stick to the one Europe. That would be great to keep it like that. Though I of course like the Institute of New Europe, but you know, these ideas, I don't think that it works actually. Well, let's keep one Europe and bring all similarly thinking nations into it. The second point on the democratic backsliding, if it is a problem, yes, it is a problem. You can see what happens in Hungary. If you have a massive state capture, corruption, and no checks and balances, then the country becomes a perfect target of foreign interests, which it may use through various ways for influencing how the EU and NATO works. So if we would like to keep our allies, we have to really take care of democratic institutions and watch closely democratic backsliding, not only in our region but in whole Europe.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to the first question. I don't think we need to take Ukraine to the Europe because Russians already did it. They gave us Europe. They put Ukraine towards Europe. Europe is not only European Union. Europe means something more. Being European is a mindset, and being European means some standards. And not only in the abstract way, but in a very real life way as well. What we now need to help Ukraine to build the European infrastructure there. For example, railways. We need to change their railways to the European one, because if we will not do it, there will be some big costs for the. There will be some disruptions in the connectivity between Ukraine and European society. So I think the Russians, by their horrible aggression, they put Ukraine forever to Europe, and they make Ukraine and part of Europe. The mindset of the people in Ukraine change, and they are now all Europeans. The institutional question of European Union is another question.
When we are talking about New Europe, we are talking not about the part of Europe, we are talking about the European Union after reform. European Union needs reforms, and we should invest in such kind of changes. Without that, I do not believe in a real good future of European Union. You said that we will have problems from Germans in the future because of their migration policy. This is why I think that we should discuss about the new Europe, new institutions, new regulations, good reforms. Democratic institutions are very important. In Poland, I think that we protect such kind of institutions. The view of the information about the Polish democracy are in different media. I do not believe in. I do not agree with them. I think that is not true. I feel in Poland very safe, and I believe in our democracy. We are in the election. You will see that it's a normal process. You see that it's a normal process. They fight each other, these parties, and politics is normal. And each countries we can show that it's the same process of the in democratic process. What about the Ukraine? I think that before Ukraine is long time to prepare the Ukraine for any kind of joining to, if it's possible, because I do not believe now it's such kind of process. I think it's danger for Ukrainians that such kind of fake is presented for them. Ukraine lost 11 million people. I think that after war it will be the next 10 million. After war it will be difficult to rebuild as a country to be ready to join to Europe. You know that this corruption, the level of corruption is so high. It's you have no in Ukraine. There are no any real prepared institutions, good law. Poland prepared for European Union 15 years more, but after war Ukraine, for me, in my opinion, it takes 20 or more years to be ready for anything. And I expect that after war and after we can expect that some part of people in Ukraine change their mind and rebuild their relation with Russia. I expect this. I can't say that I agree with them, and but in my opinion, I could expect such kind of scenario.
Yeah, I completely disagree with most of what you said just now, but I don't think that we have time to discuss it in depth. And we are here to deal with the Czech-Polish relations, but we can discuss it during the coffee break.
Thank you, and we have time only for one short question, so if there is a question, we've got one short question, please.
So you've talked a lot about the need for cooperation within European Union. So I'd like to ask about one of the most important topics within European Union right now, connected with Ukraine. So Ukraine has been linked with a possible change in decision-making process within the European Union. So simple question, what is the Czech Republic position on possibility of changing the decision process within the European Union? And is Czech government or Czech public opinion ready to give up, for example, veto power in European Union? Thank you very much.
Yeah. The debate has just started and is heating up. I don't think that this government will agree on giving up the veto power in any area. But you know, there are forces in the government that would be ready to do so. But I don't think that there will be a final consensus on that. And I would, you know, and we will have a debate on that. It will be very, very heated. But on the other hand, what we need more, in my view, is the discussion on all other areas than is the veto power and qualified majority voting, on the future of the EU budget, cohesion policy, agriculture, perhaps rule of law, but I don't think it should be the number one in this debate. but there are other issues that need to be debated much more. Czech public is not very much aware on how the EU institutions work, and they do not even know that the Czech Republic has some veto power on some areas. So the public debate, the expert debate is already started. It's going on. The public debate is something we will see in future. In general, I don't think that the Czech public would be happy and ready to give up the veto power in any area.
I'll just add some technical points of this kick-up of this discussion. The Czech President Petr Pavel recently said he would be in favor of it.
He said he would be in favor of debate on it.
Or he would be in favor of debate on it, and as you can see, it already starts discussions in Czech Republic. So the topic was kicked off. In the government, I think the ODS party, which I was member of, and so I can speak somehow for them. The leading government of the party will not be in favor of it, but they are a coalition of 5 parties, and it's the same question as accepting euro, for example. And in the coalition, there are the same debates. European questions and the level and intensity of European integrity is what split the coalitions. So the coalition, the government coalition now was trying to put all these topics down, but they are rising and will rise with the European elections.
So I guess we need to end the discussion right now. So I would like to thank all the speakers, Mr. Jan Lupomeski, Mr. Wittostel, and Mr. Artur Bartoszewicz. Thank you very much for this fantastic debate. And right now we are starting the 45 minutes intermission, the coffee break, and networking. Please thank our panelists for their speeches. Thank you very much.